The idea today has been to discuss, well, global bond markets generally. There's been a lot of turbulence in markets recently, and there's been a lot of volatility in equity markets. There's been a lot of volatility in forex markets, a lot of volatility in bond markets. And it's an interesting opportunity to be able to discuss what's going on in these particular markets, give a bit of context, and specifically to explain that in this low yield environment where you're getting negative rates in a number of markets, well, there are actually areas where you can make money, whether it be in relative value strategies, playing one bond market against another bond market, in credits, in high yield emerging debt, and of course in the FX space, in currencies. We've had some very good sessions today because I think that actually quite a lot of people are a little bit disorientated by what's going on at the moment. I think that last year people were expecting very negative yield from bond markets and they delivered 7.5%. Again, this year people are very worried about bonds. I think global bonds have delivered again 1.5% this year, whereas global equities have lost 3%, 4%. There's a lot of uncertainty about what's going on in China, the disinflationary impact of the slowdown in China. We've had the Greek crisis. We've had the Bund tantrum in April time this spring. And so a lot of people quite worried about what's going on. And I think it was a good sounding board for them to be able to discuss what other people are doing in the bond market, the credit market and the FX market. Actually, I was intrigued that in the exchanges we had this afternoon, we had a number of questions about currencies, which is something which I'm not used to. And I think that this small format is actually quite useful for that. And I think that the currencies is something we've been investing in for 20 years. We like currencies very much. It's very liquid. Diversifying, we believe you can make money out of currencies, and I do believe that a lot of people for many years thought that currencies was something to be avoided, random walk, you can't make money. And I think ultimately, if we're getting so many questions now, that people realise that with bond yields being so low, with credit being a little bit volatile recently, that maybe currencies is one of the areas where investors might want to look to try and make some money, add liquidity and diversification as well. I came to the event last year, so I've come back again because I enjoyed it last year. I think that it is interesting to be able to meet a number of investors from different backgrounds with different outlooks, different objectives and thoughts, to be able to exchange on what they're looking at, what they're seeing is what we're seeing completely different from what they're seeing. And I think the format, by having just a few people in the room at the same time, does allow people to ask the questions they want to and get more involved in a more animated discussion, I think.